Army matey, we're going to a game 3 on the Blackhearts Bay. And Mr. Shane has something to say.
ETC, I'm just waiting for ETC, man.
Literally, we went on break. He went and got his guitar. He's strumming away. He's like, glory to the death metal on that acoustic guitar. And he's like, if it gets banned, I'm breaking this guitar on stream for you, Jester. And he's just like,
it doesn't get banned. It doesn't get banned.
So Blackhearts Bay for game 3. Both these teams, Tempo Storm, Evil Geniuses tied up 1-1. Game 3 hype. It's the best kind of hype there is.
Oh, dude. So excited.
The draft, we're into pool time for the bans on Evil Geniuses.
They are taking so... Oh, dude! The Asmodon ban. The respect ban onto the Asmodon. When we first saw... Oh, no. ETC no ban, baby. When we first saw the Asmodon strat pulled out by Tempo Storm, it was on Blackhearts Bay, and I've talked to a handful of people who feel that the Asmodon is the most strongest on Blackhearts Bay. So Evil Geniuses wants none of that business. They ban out the Asmodon. They'll deal with the Stitches. They'll deal with a Vala. They'll deal with all that noise. They do not want to deal with the Asmodon. And ladies and gentlemen, ETC hype called it, nailed it. So excited. ETC and Tacit are being picked up for Tempo Storm, and Evil Geniuses first picking the Rhaegar.
Yep, first pick Rhaegar into the ETC and the Tassadar. You're just so happy strumming away on that guitar.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy. ETC hype, bro. Okay.
ETC hype. All right, so this is our first time we've seen an Asmodon ban. And again, a week ago, nobody would have said that you would ever do that against anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. He's not Cancer anymore. But c'est la vie. We have seen him more this weekend than I think I've seen in the last 6 months total. And wow, Evil Geniuses, they are all about the deny today, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Picking themselves up. Not only the great support in Uther, they're doing the same thing they did before as far as their first 2 picks, going with the Uther Rhaegar, but this time picking themselves up in Illidan. And, oh, we'll talk about that in a second, Sean. Picking themselves up in Illidan because Tempo Storm was in prime position to also pick themselves in Illidan as well, because Tassadar is a very good support, probably the strongest support at enabling Illidan to do what he does in team fights, and that's just be a nuisance, get his rotations off, do enough auto attacks to where he can get multiple rotations of his abilities off, and just that's kind of what Illidan needs to do to be successful, and Tassadar enables that more than almost any other support. And Illidan now has the support of an Uther Rhaegar on his back, so he's definitely going to have what he needs on the other end of the spectrum on Evil Geniuses. But we have an interesting pick here from Tempo Storm. The Valo Demon Hunter finally, in game 3, it took 3 games, but finally is here, being picked up here after being ignored for 2 games. But the one we want to talk about here, Sean, the Zagara pick from Tempo Storm. And this is very interesting because we actually saw a Zagara ban against Tempo Storm.
We did.
And we were like, okay, Tempo Storm definitely has something up their sleeve here with the Zagara that they were reading. I think it was Murloc's Ink that banned it. I'm not sure. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the Zagara here.
Oh, it was game 1. The Zagara ban.
It was? Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah, because Murloc Zinc lost against Evil Geniuses to get here. So they didn't play Tempo Storm whatsoever. But Arthalon Zagara, I mean, that is definitely something of renown here in the high meta NA. And, you know, he plays a lot of things, man. Like this team, Tempo Storm, they have such flex in their strategy.
Yeah.
That it's really hard to ban them out. But banning out the Asmodon is definitely a good step on the Blackhearts because it's so easy just to farm the 2 lanes top while everybody's out fighting about coins. And then late game comes around and he's doing 1,500 damage to your face. Really fun stuff. Tychus is going to be the pickup here from EG, and they're thinking about a warrior type. Maybe. I don't know. You could just go with the support the Illidan, but if he gets CC'd out or mod or mosh pitted or any number of things, could go sour.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are going to see Stitches is on the table. And, oh, called it! Diablo! I've been saying
last game
the whole entire
of
stream.
the tournament. He's been talking about Diablo all night. All night.
Kevin has sensed a disturbance in the Force.
Oh my
just now.
Goodness.
Someone alert that man that Evil Geniuses has brought out the Diablo. If you have been with this stream since we have been streaming this afternoon, ESL Go4Heroes, then you know I've been saying there are 3 heroes I thought we were going to see more of. And I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because I nailed all 3 of them. Jaina, Illidan, Diablo. We've seen Jaina picked up multiple times. We've seen Illidan picked up more than any one of them. And finally, the Diablo coming out here for Evil Geniuses in a double healer composition. I have no idea how this is going to work. I don't know if he's going to go Halitosis. I don't know if he's going to go with the Apocalypse, but you talk about a lot of heavy melee in-your-face initiation, going to mess you up, throw you around, jump over you, throw you over my head. This is one hell of a like bruiser lineup we got for Evil Geniuses, and they have the two strong supports backing them up at the same time. Meanwhile, Tempo Storm are going to even out their draft with a Malfurion pickup. And one thing I want to talk about, I wonder if this Malfurion is going to go Emerald, Jesus, if it's going to go with the Silence, because when you have that much dive, that sometimes that Silence is actually really efficient. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they are going to go with that Tranquility, because Evil Geniuses really doesn't have single target burst. They're all about, you know, attrition sustain with double healer, an Illidan, and a Diablo. And I mean, if you don't have that, then a great way to deal with that is a good amount of AoE sustain healing, and that's exactly what Malfurion's going to bring to the table.
Believe in the ZP. Believe, Broxalar, believe, sir, because we're here to game number 3, the hypest of matchups for this cup number 11, Go4Heroes Americas. And, you know, winner takes home some cash, first place seeding points, which are all very useful when it comes down to those monthlies to retain your spots in the majors. And yeah, Tempo Storm, you know, they brought out the ETC. You've been talking about the Diablo. We finally get to see him. I'm so glad that button has finally found use on my UI. But you know what? Blackheart's Bay, why not? The map to end all maps. So let's get right down and dirty to it, Mr. Shanguch here. On the left-hand side, it's going to be the boys in blue, taking it away 3 games in a row from Evil Geniuses. But it is Tempo Storm. A lot of Raynet talk and a lot of Hearthstone, but these guys are the heroes reps. Dreadnought, Soldier, Kaio, Arthalon, and Glorong. And that's not going to be an Arthalon bottom. My goodness.
Over on the right side of your map, ladies and gentlemen, the Evil Geniuses, the maniacal intellectuals. ZP on a Diablo, which I have to say...
He's on a carpet.
He's on the carpet. This is amazing. I am in love with this. ZP playing a hero that he was once known as when Kerrigan could solo entire teams and Diablo actually did damage. A hero used to play all the time on the Diablo. Faye on Odin, Idra on Illidan, LZ Gamer on Uther, and down in the bottom lane is Kwai Rice on that Rhaegar. Kwai Rice is really going to have to be on point with his Ancestral Healings. Last games, they just really didn't feel that effective at all. They were either too late or he used them a little bit prematurely, and all of a sudden, Tempo Storm would just turn around on him. So Kwai Rice definitely has to play a little bit better than he did last game, specifically with those Ancestral Healings. But all right, the gates are down, though. The game is underway. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 hype between Tempo Storm and Evil Geniuses. I am so excited. Tempo Storm already doing a good chunk of damage to this mid tier 1 tower already, which is a big deal because this is Blackheart's Bay. And it's really going to help out their turn-ins. A little bit of a skirmish going down here at the chest. And Soldier got flipped over the head of ZP. The body blocks are real. First blood going the way of ETC, and they are not done yet. Dreadnought's got to be careful here. Idra's going in there, flipping over him. Overkill blanket protect. That's not a protect shield, it's a Tassadar shield. Dreadnought going ahead and going on his good foot, switching around. He's actually might be able to live. Idra, he needs to get in range of that Q. That's probably going to spell the death of Dreadnought. I'd imagine if ZP charges him. Okay, please die already, Dreadnought. Okay, thank you. Awesome. Meanwhile, how are we looking at the coins? Who got that chest in the bottom lane? Kwai Rice got it. So all 10 coins going the way of Evil Geniuses. Right now, this Diablo already is looking like a awesome pick.
There we go. That's the button. I'm looking for carried objectives. So way over there. Not something I ever hit a lot. But yeah, 10 out of 10 going the way of Evil Geniuses. And 2 kills. That's really phenomenal for them as a really good early start. It is game 3. This is basically the last line of defense for trying to get yourself those points. But 5 coins not going to be turned in. Soldier and crew going to be into the bottom lane. ZP's already coming down to help on out. But Dreadnought, Arthalon, Soldier, they did a good number on that tower. And Arthalon has been putting down roaches. He has actually 30% less damage on those roaches as we see Vala getting insta-give mid. 3 kills nil for Evil Geniuses, but the roaches have been draining out ammo left and right. 1 tower down in the mid, looking for the second one down here. Soldier is still in the front line. He's not even getting hurt, man.
Yep, and meanwhile, Rhaegar was up at the turn-in, and he went ahead and gave a dime to the Pirate Man over here, and that is going to be the first volley that we see.
Is that going to be a fort?
Looks like,
did they have a tower down?
It looks like, yeah, I think they did enough damage to those mid towers that that's going to be a guaranteed fort, and that is just going to perpetuate the lead that Evil Geniuses has already built up with 3 kills. That Diablo, like I said, man, already looking strong. We're going to see how it pans out into the mid and late game, though. Bottom is definitely under a lot of pressure here. That Zagara is doing what Zagara is good at. And that's pushing down these towers. She didn't go with demolitions, Arthwan rather.
Yeah, she went for the tower drain in terms of 30% less damage.
Yes. So that is an effective tool doing that as well. I think overall it's a little bit more effective than the demolitions, just because, especially on a Blackheart's Bay, a map where you don't really have to actually push to win the game. So I definitely agree with that decision right there. But Evil Geniuses level 7 is here for him. It looks like fairly standard stuff across the board, except for Diablo, who's not standard in any way, shape, or form, picking up battle momentum.
Well, I mean, what is standard these days? Like, we have not seen Diablo in forever. So this could become the de facto standard. And just to show you guys, Soul Feast there for extra health and regen. That for sure isn't standard. Amplified healing in the battle momentum. So more shadow charges, more flips over the shoulder. And, you know, Soldier and crew, they were able to pick up those bruisers. So that's going to give Faye a little bit of pause in the top lane. But we got our own bruisers pushing out bottom. And the Evil Geniuses is just ripping right into these towers. And, you know, if they get this fort, that's going to be 10 height at 4 minutes.
Yeah. This is going so well for Evil Geniuses right now. That Diablo pick, man, I'm excited about it. I am just already getting nerd chills over how well they've executed with this Diablo so far. They have a level and a half lead this early into the game. And Evil Geniuses is a team who, throughout this tournament and throughout any success that they've had in recent times, is because what they do is they get themselves a early game lead through whatever means they can. Obviously, this game, it has been through just efficient rotations with the Diablo and Illidan and getting 3 kills very early on, as well as the turn-ins. We're going for a second turn here. Yeah, and then once they get that advantage, they never let it go. They play with surgical precision, and they make these small little kind of pushes, and they get one objective here, one objective there. They never let go of that advantage. And that's something that they do, I feel like, better than almost any other team. And if you look at the map, Blackheart's Bay is the best at facilitating that sort of play, because you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to, you know, just take a fight all the time. Yes, there's times where you want to take a fight, but this map is definitely the best map for Evil Geniuses to have that play style. And right now, it is playing into their hands. They're looking so good right now. I want to see what Tempo Storm is going to do to get themselves back in this.
So Faye picked up the top chest. She was just basically walking on by, and the chest randomly spawned. Why can't that happen to me in real life and win the lottery? Seriously, but
I know, right?
She picks that up. She goes immediately back to the top lane. I don't think this is going to be a fort. I think we're 1 cannonball short, but I say that, and those things hit pretty hard. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go.
Goes down.
That is a level 11 hype. We don't even have ults here, but it's not going to matter for Faye because she does not have that extra hit point part. And it is going to be the big gank, but because they're all top, they know that bottom lane fort is going to go down. And we might actually even be pushing into the keep at this point because, well, you know, why not? The only other thing to do at this point would just be the hit on top to defend against the boss, because you know it's coming. Either way, 12 to 10, we do got heroics on the board now for Tempo, and it's going to be Mosh Pit, Devouring, Archon, Tranquility, and Strafe.
So what does...
It's Apocalypse Diablo.
Evil Geniuses has... What does Evil Geniuses have to deal with Mosh Pit? They have the Apocalypse. They obviously have Grenade from Uther. Or from Grenade from Uther, that would be wonderful. Grenade from Tychus.
The Holy Grenade.
And the stuns from Uther. Yes, the Holy Grenade. But Apocalypse, I mean, that's if Diablo doesn't get caught in that mosh pit, that's a great tool to dealing with mosh pit. I'm a little surprised they went with that, but
no cleanse on the left. Wow,
you're right.
There's no I mean, Apocalypse goes off. There's no way to stop it. That Apocalypse is going to be a great effective tool at dealing with that mosh pit. But what Tempo Storm did there is that they went for the boss because they knew, obviously, Evil Geniuses, all 5 of them on the map pushing bottom. Evil Geniuses at 7 minutes into the game have already knocked down every single outlying structure that Tempo Storm had available to them. So map control is already well in the hands of Evil Geniuses. Again, this is not a map you want to fall behind on when it comes to map control, or obviously in levels. It's even more worse in this situation. Speaking of things getting out of hand, Renat is just going to get blown up. There's the Apocalypse. Oh, the Apocalypse seals the deal, though. Well done right there. He almost was able to juke and drive off of it when he goes down anyways. There's a mosh pit onto 2. Idra did pop the Metamorphosis. He's getting pretty low, but he does have 2 supports to back him up. So he's going to be healed up here in no time. Galarian is trying to get away from Idra. Idra using the first aid, making sure he gets
popped off, and he's going to go down. Meanwhile, in the background over here to the east, ETC also getting picked off. 3 going down for Evil Genius, or I'm sorry, for Tempo Storm. Everyone alive for Evil Geniuses. Odin is still here. This is going to be a push into these tier 2 towers. They don't have enough for a turn-in. They're going to look to damage these tier 2 towers and maybe fall back, get some coins, turn in, and that'll seal the deal as far as those structures go after they push down mid. But that was a very well-executed rotation from Evil Geniuses there. They came in from the north, swept down to the south like a broom, and cleaned up Tempo Storm in immaculate fashion.
And now they have themselves bruisers pushing top. They're looking at very close to 16 by the time everything will be settled, because they got double giants in the bottom. Second set of bruisers going to be going in. Coins are being turned in here as well. Do we have enough? Yeah, that's for sure going to be wow, that's going to be almost a keep, depending on how far these creeps get. Level advantage and kills, it's 6 kills to 1. Evil Geniuses have really shown a very strong early hand here. As 8.5 minutes in, we're looking at level 15. That's pretty phenomenal. Here goes the cannonballs into the mid. That's for sure the towers. Not going to be the keep, I don't think, because there's not enough damage there. But either way, that Apocalypse came out really big at the end of it all. Idra has been chasing down people phenomenally well, and it hasn't really been much that Tempo Storm seems to be able to do against this team.
Yep. Malfurion going with the Ice Block. Dreadnought going with the Ice Block. I like that decision. Yes, he did forego the Life Seed, which is a amazingly efficient talent that essentially gives you a free rejuvenation. I think the cooldown is 6 or 8 seconds. But he knows that he needs to deal with the initiation and the Apocalypse that Evil Geniuses has, and Ice Block is, I mean, it makes you invulnerable. It's a great tool at dealing with any sort of initiation. So I agree with him picking up that Ice Block. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Diablo talents for all the Diablo aficionados out there. Or I should just say the Diablo aficionado out there, singular.
Yo, Sham 2, where you at, bro?
Level 13 going with the From the Shadows. Level 16 is a big old question mark. Let me see what he picks up here. Going with the Firestorm.
Have to go.
So it increases the damage and brings him on back.
Dude, single target damage on those waves is outstanding. You can probably insta-give the Vala or the Malfurion with a good combo. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
From Evil Geniuses. They are going to be able to interrupt the Tempo Storm, able to interrupt it. Mosh Pit is up, is available, and he is looking in there. He's in the thick of it, looking for a Mosh Pit, but he is extended, a little overextended. There is a good Davari Maw onto LZ Gamer, but they still have a Rhaegar to back up. There is no Ancestral Healing going down quite yet. It is up and available for use. There it goes down. There is the Apocalypse. A good dimensional shift. The only person landed on was Dreadnought. He still has Ice Block at the ready to use. Vala does go down, though. So that is what Evil Genius was looking for. They are just simply winning these team fights with just wear and tearing down Team Tempo Storm. And they're executing it so well right now. A 2-for-0 exchange, and they are going to go get themselves a mid-keep. We have coins to turn in, but screw that noise. We want to get keeps and also, poke around soldiers a little bit. So this mid-keep's going to be dead to rights. They're going to maybe fall back after that and get some more damage done. Oh no, a little bit of an overextension. A good roots onto him, and now they get 2 kills. Evil Geniuses just getting way too aggressive and way too cocky. ZP is going to be going down as well, possibly. He has 6 coins. This is an awful misplay from them. That keep was dead to rights. That was too much of an overextension. That is really unfortunate, and they just gave Tempo Storm a window of opportunity that they didn't have to get, but Evil Geniuses just presented it to him in a nice little package.
Apparently I'm not on busy mode because somebody just whispered me. I apologize for that. But, they had the momentum. That's basically what they were doing. They were riding the momentum. Wow. They said, they got the numbers. We can go to the keep. We can do this. ZP's shadow charging right through the keep on top of Archelon as well. That's what I was kind of giggling at in that last fight. But losing those coins from ZP is the only one to actually insta-respawn in the game right now. Warrior-wise, at any rate. And he's right back into the thick of things. But yeah, losing out those 6 coins, that was absolutely monstrous because it's not going to be a turn-in. It wasn't the keep kill. And now we got a boss pushing down top here from Tempo. So we've seen this before. Tempo Storm, they're not out of it until until one of the cores is done. And they have actually caught up in the level 16 to 17. They're actually on par for a little bit there. But imposing presence, the double, what? Mutilis? What?
There you go.
Did not see that.
There you go now.
Yeah, all right, Mutilis, C'est la vie. I can have 2 Mutilis on the field as well. The Resonation, 3 for 3 with the Tacitus. The Resonation slows.
I'm sorry to the eardrums of the viewers as that was my Mutilis impression, but ZP going in there, he's charging, and he is a Duncan. There might not be an Asmodon, but there is a Diablo laying down the basketball puns for me to drop. Excited about that soldier in the thick of it. Mosh Pit is on cooldown. I don't know if Evil Genius is aware is that Idra has to be careful. He's forced to use the Metamorphosis. There is a defensive Apocalypse. It does hit Dreadnought again, but once again, that Ice Block is ready for him to use. Now Diablo is down for 50 seconds. This is such a great turnaround from Tempo Storm. They were behind so much. The Tranquility is keeping everyone topped off. Odin is going to be down. This is going to be a turn-in for Tempo Storm. And that as they have, they have more than enough to get a turn in here. So that's going to finish off this bottom fort and maybe possibly enable them to do a push. Oh, what a great timing for these chests for Tempo Storm.
And that has, again, once just dropped that level gap. It is now less than half a level between them, and with that turn-in, that's going to be the dead bottom fort, and maybe a tower or two here mid. Actually, well, for sure one, if not two. That's actually, I think, even going to put us closer to a level lead now, which is very, just Tempo Storm. We saw this game number 1. We had a very early dominant EG game. Tempo Storm resurged back at level 13, level 16. They got those talents, they got the combos, they got the timings, and one slip up here is going to seal the deal from either team. It can still go either way. We still have a lot of pressure here on the map because we do got these naked keeps. It's a very, very easily killable mid keep as well. One coin turn-in is going to swing the direction, but very close to taking that level lead. Tempo Storm 8-8, and they have more than enough again for a back-to-back turn-in, Jane. My goodness.
If Apocalypse was up there, I mean, I don't think he would have used it. I think they're just going to take the turn-in right there. So, Tempo Storm, they were looking like they were just completely on the ropes. I would say they weren't even on the ropes. They were on the mat of the boxing ring. And Evil Genius is making a big misplay by just overextending under. They dived underneath the core and a keep, getting hit from both of them at the same time. And with Dreadnought laying down that phenomenal entangling roots, rooting them in that spot where they're getting hit from both, and all of a sudden, ever since then, this game has been, the momentum of this game has been in Tempo Storm's favor. And that is something you never want to do with them, because they've been making these comebacks all day. They've been playing from behind in the early and mid game all day. And they were playing from way behind there, and now this is a even game. I would say it's pretty damn even. No, actually, Tempo Storm they're officially ahead now as far as objectives and experience goes here, Sean. The mid keep is down. They're on the same amount of turn-in, so we're not going to see any of those weird rubber band effects where one team never turns in, and then all of a sudden they get like 50 coins and turn in back to back to back and just win like that. Because it is something we see every now and then. And they really want to force the issue here. They're going in there. Every single heroic is up, all 10 of them. For both of these teams right now, ZP going in there on to Larang, all with the Metamorphosis Apocalypse. They're not using the Ice Blocks to dodge it. That's a phenomenal Devouring Maw, taking it 3, taking Idra and ZP out of the team fight with a Mosh Pit follow-up on 2. This is a dissecting surgical team fight for Tempo Storm right now. They have made the incision into the heart of this team, and they are just disheartening them as well as they can. Good Lord, Tempo Storm, that was so well executed from them. A 3-0 exchange. Tempo Storm is now just on the march down this mid lane. They want more than 3. Faye's laying down overkill. She has 6 coins. She doesn't want to give that up, and I think Tempo Storm are just going to go for the game here, and they absolutely can do this, man. This is incredible.
Diablo's up, Faye is up, but low hit points on both sides of the coin, and five-man Soldier just going to be tanking out that core. No problem. Archlon in the back, getting off the damage. Here goes the strafe. That's going to be it for Diablo. He's now going to be finally resting in pieces, and for a really strong early game, Evil Geniuses, and on the back of one throw, are going to eat the loss, and it will be the boys now in blue. It's Tempo Storm, man. They take victory from the clutches of defeat, and they are your Cup number 11 winners.
Congratulations to Tempo Storm once again, winning themselves another tournament. Add that to the resume that they have for what all the tournaments they have won. That hurts, man. Evil Geniuses had that match. They were playing so well, but that overextension under the mid keep and under the core was just, that was too much. That, I mean, I don't use the word throw very lightly, but that's the closest thing I've seen to a full-on throw, I think, since I've been casting. And it's really unfortunate because they were playing so damn well, but they gave Tempo Storm that boost of energy they needed for morale. They gave them an inch and they turned it into a mile, man. So well done by Tempo Storm. They were given that opportunity and they completely jumped on it, ended up taking game 3 against Evil Geniuses, a hard-fought game, rather, for them. And good job for them, man. That last team fight was so well done. was so very well done. The Arthalon's Devouring Maw took out the frontliners in ZP and Idra. Idra was in Metamorphosis.
Yep.
They completely negated the Apocalypse by just simply Dimensional Shift and Ice Block. I'm actually watching it right now on stream. Soldier landed a 2-man mosh pit on both of the supports.
Yep.
When they recognized that both the supports were in a mosh pit, they said, okay, they turned around on an Idra and ZP, tore them apart, and then just all history from there, man. Tempo Storm, showing us why they're considered the best team in North America. I can't wait to see some international tournaments. That's something everyone's talking about, but well-deserved to them, man. That was great.
EU, NA, Korea. Yep. There's definitely a lot of interest to see how the Koreans are actually developing their own meta, because we don't really see any kind of big tournaments or coverage out from that way. But when we do hit international, you can probably put a safe bet on Tempo Storm repping NA. They're just absolutely dominant. You know, they clutched and they went hard and they came out, and they have a ridiculous record to begin with, but now adding more and more wins to it, it's absolutely phenomenal how much success they've had here in Heroes. So congratulations to them. They go home with cash, seeding points, and the bragging rights to say that we won the NA Cup number 11. Congratulations to them. Well deserved. Second place to EG. They get themselves some seeding points, and well, that's about it. I don't really think you can take anything away from that loss other than just one bad play, was it? Third place, I believe, was Murlocs, but let me double check.
Correct. Pretty sure. Correct.
Pretty sure and correct are two separate things. Yeah, Murlocs.
I'm pretty sure that you are correct.
Thank you very so much.
Boom.
Murlocs Inc. did prevail over APM, and APM will settle for 4th this round after getting all the way to the semis. So congratulations to those guys. I believe top 8 take-home seeding points. And, you know, Cup number 12 is coming up, which means that we're going to be looking at our February monthlies within the next 2 weeks. So I'm not entirely too sure what day that will be. ESL will hopefully tell us a little bit in advance. But Cup number 12, same time, same place, next Sunday. Hopefully FourCourtJester will be in attendance. And then from there, we'll see what we can do about monthlies. But we are done. That is it. Game 3, finals, done. Went to Game 3, was phenomenal. Mr. Shane Gucher, thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people find you if they liked what they saw, liked what they heard?
You can find me on the internet, which you're already here. You already know. The typical social media outlets, specifically Twitter, is the one I'm most active on. I will go ahead and drop the URL into the chat box for you guys. Thank you so much, as always, Sean. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to cast more with you. Looking forward to more ESL games. Looking forward to more North American teams signing up for this, as every week there's just another team who blows me away with their performance. Maybe doesn't go Tempo Storm status, but definitely as time goes on, the North American scene is definitely growing, and I can't wait to. I'm glad to be a part of that North American growth, getting to watch these teams and cast these teams. And thank you to ESL for allowing me this opportunity to yell and scream about a game that I have so much passion for. And I hope that I bring out that passion for you guys with my casting, with my voicing. Not much too false hype, though. I don't want to do too much false hype. I probably do, though, but that's okay. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone on ESL, for allowing me this opportunity. And I look forward to the future to do more with you, man.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, same time, same place. Next Sunday is the only thing I got on the docket right now. But of course, if that changes, you can find me out there, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, FourCourtJester. You also get a lot of Heroes Fire stuff mixed into that because I've been busy developing all that stuff. But, you know, the Vikings are up. All the patch notes are good to go. So it was a learning experience from all ends. Once again, Cup number 11, go for NA. Thank you so much, ESL, all the teams that participated, and of course, all the lovely viewers, almost 500 by the end of it. Yeah, definitely big hearts, big hearts, big hearts. We are done. Time for food and time for one last Heroes video before we're done. Have yourselves a wonderful night, and we will see you in the Nexus. Good night.
Mighty keyboard warrior.